Good morning, Judith.
Good morning, Sonya.
Welcome to the Coach's Cup. I'm Sonya Green from SonyaGreenCoaching.com.
And I'm Judith Fender. I am a coach with the No BS weight loss program.
And today we are talking about goal setting. In fact,
Woo-hoo!
if you're listening on the podcast, you miss our whole setup we have here, Judith's board, which always has the title of our podcast. Today is complete with, it says a fireside chat about goal setting, and it's complete with fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Drawn by,
So
by my lovely daughter.
yes. And we did not pay her. So
No, she volunteered.
yep. Very sweet. So we wanted to talk about goal setting. This episode is going to drop about mid-December,
hmm
and many people are thinking about their New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
I read the other day that resolutions, this is, I don't remember exact numbers, but it's something like 80% of people make a New Year's resolution, and 6% of that 80% actually follow it through.
Right. Did it say why? What did they do? They had the good intentions, but what happened along the way?
Yeah, it didn't, but I think we can guess,
I
right?
bet we can. Yeah.
Tell us, Judith.
Well, it's probably going to be something like the relationship with themselves, right? Like we had just finished talking about this, and it's kind of the end result of goal setting is who you become along the way and what you learn around, through the process, and how you overcome your obstacles and how you lay the plans out and who you become. And ultimately it is um, the relationship with yourself. And so it sounds like if you don't achieve the goal, right, that you set, they weren't attainable, they weren't specific,
Mhm.
and the areas that you did not succeed in, you didn't give yourself enough time to fail forward and to celebrate your failures, or you didn't connect with your honoring your commitments to yourself. How's
Yeah.
that sound?
Yeah. No, I think exactly. I think we're done.
Mhm. Let's work backwards now.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's exactly right. I think most people, how easy is it to set a goal? Like
Oh.
the topic today is not just about setting a goal, because that's super easy. We do it all the time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Today I'm going to clean my house, and I don't know what else I would do. But,
Right.
you know,
Well,
and
today is Thanksgiving. Let's just go ahead and say
that's true. We are listeners, we are so devoted to you that we got up this morning
Mhm,
and we are delivering this podcast on Thanksgiving. So
mhm. We
that's why
sure
I'm wearing
are.
my orange. I'm feeling very
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving-ish. But
Mm.
it's easy to say to set a goal, but if only 6% of people
Mhm.
actually meet that goal, that tells you that everything is about the journey
It's about the journey.
and what
It's
happens
about
along the way.
Yep, yep.
That's what we want to talk to you about today, because we want to do our part to increase that percentage. Maybe we can move it from 6% to, I don't know, 8%. That would
Well,
be quite a
I'm
shift, wouldn't it?
it would be I'm thinking about, in Atomic Habits, James Clear teaches us
Mm,
about 1% level ups. So if
I
we just
love that
work on
book.
1%, right? If we just work on those 1% level ups daily, what can you do 1% better than yesterday to get yourself towards that goal, right? Then I think he said at the end of the year, you're 37% better off than when you started. I don't know how he did that math, but I'm going to trust him on that.
Yeah, exactly. That I didn't remember that percentage, and it doesn't speak to me right away. It's why that would be the percentage, but we'll trust him on
We'll
that.
run with that. Yeah.
And even if that is, whether it is or it isn't, 37%, I
Right?
mean, that's a big move.
Absolutely. Just say if you'd set a goal of, I don't know, I don't know how he got that, but if it was like 100 pounds you wanted
Yeah,
to lose
that's what,
and you
right.
lost 37, I
Yeah.
mean, hello, ain't nobody gonna be crying over that.
No, no.
Yes.
And if you are crying over it, then we have some other podcasts for you to listen to.
Right. Contact us for some coaching.
Reach back, yeah, and then come see us. So I think it's important to talk about not only the importance of having goals but why we should set goals. Um, when we did our Organizing Your Mind podcast, we spent a long time talking about our room with our future plans and how it was going to look and
Mhm.
how luxurious it was. And we went into a lot of depth on that. Um, but I had people tell me that they didn't have a future plans room. And that blew my mind because I can't imagine not having future plans. And I guess I include goals in with that because, it's having goals set along the way that creates my future plans room.
Right. Pulls you forward.
And it's not, I don't want you all to think that it's the goal to be happier because that's not why we set goals. I
Right.
don't say, oh, well, I'm going to lose 100 pounds so I can be happy finally because I hate my body. That's
Mm,
that's not the place that you set your goals
mm.
from. Many
That's
times it is the place people set goals from.
and like that is the worst thing you can do for yourself.
Yes.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many women I have heard say that the purpose for losing weight is to like themselves
Yeah.
better or on some level their body, or that life is going to be magically better when they if and when they lose the weight.
Yeah. Why is that not the case?
Well, because you that's the circumstance. The weight is the circumstance, and that's not going to change your mindset. It's about evolving into the best version of yourself, expanding yourself, and wanting from a place of abundance.
Abundance.
Right. I like to tell my clients, especially the clients who are already don't have medical issues, because so many people will have their whys be something like, um, to bring my cholesterol down,
Yeah.
or, you know, or to not get diabetes,
Mhm.
right? But to reframe that into appreciating my body for the health I have right now,
Yeah.
right? To appreciate that you don't have those conditions, and wanting from that place of abundance of something you already have, to loving and nurturing the body and getting weight loss.
Yeah. Yeah, because when we set a goal from a place of lack,
Mm-hmm.
um, we are always going to be running to try to catch up, and we're not going to really be. It comes from a place of need rather than abundance, which creates that place of, I have plenty that I can give this goal. I just have to, decide how I'm going to achieve it.
Yeah. I really like how you said all that. That sounds really good,
Well,
Sonia.
that's good because I wasn't sure it made a lot of sense coming
It did. It did. It's always good to hear the same message from different messengers, and taking away different nuggets.
Yeah.
And it really is, because when we want from lack, it keeps us hobbled to lack.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel like you're just, rushing to catch up to something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to find this feeling. I think that's what it is. We're
Mm-hmm.
in search of a better feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Where if I already have that feeling and I go after this goal with that feeling, then it is more about the journey, right? We can focus on what we're learning about ourselves along the way.
Mm-hmm.
We can focus on what we talked about, fear and doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll get real specific to let you all know that a goal that I'm working on right now is I'm creating a course for January for my um for my coaching clients. I don't know, my words just left my mouth there. I haven't finished my cup of coffee yet. Anyway, I'm working on this goal, and do I have fear and doubt that nobody's going to want to do it, that nobody's going to sign up? Sure, I do.
Mhm.
This is a new course. I don't know. I think people are interested. I've had people say they're interested, but that's very different than putting it out there in the world. So I have fear and doubt that I'm taking along with me, but I'm also taking along the abundance of what I already have. I don't need to sell this course in order to prove to myself that I'm a good coach.
Mm.
I don't need to sell this course to um, prove that I have a good business. It's not something I'm doing to prove something to make myself happier. It's something I'm doing because I think I can add value to other people. I'm bringing it from that place of I have this to give. And I'm super excited about being able to give it and watching women grow when they take the course. And
Right.
that's such a different space. And I think when you're thinking about setting goals, you need to think about what does it take to get to that space where I am not creating happiness. I'm, I'm adding to what I already have.
Say that last sentence where coming from a place where you already have happiness and
Mhm.
adding to
Yeah.
what you already have. I
Yeah.
like that.
What about you? What are your goals?
Oh, Sonya. My goals, I'm going to be straight up honest, is the first thing that comes to mind is what I had said to you before we started podcasting. It's going to be Monday hour one is to
Mhm.
continually refine my Monday hour one process and just being more accountable for that. And I'm gonna work on a 90-day goal for that for myself. Um, I don't have a weight loss goal. I don't have a running goal right
Mhm.
now. Um, but the Monday hour one is really calling to me and organization.
Yeah, for some people may not know what Monday Hour 1 is. Do you wanna just kinda give them
Wow, can I explain it? I'm not even. It's
just the shortened, the Cliff Notes version?
decisions made ahead of time. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to plan out whether it's weekly, monthly, daily, hourly, and it will be scheduled. It will be as good as done when I put it on my calendar.
Mhm.
It's making decisions ahead of time. It's scheduling my fun time. It's scheduling my work time, and including books that I want to read, personal development that I want to do, and time with my family, and just making all these decisions ahead of time for myself.
Yeah, and it is amazing to me how productive I am when I follow that.
Mhm.
I mean, I
Yes.
feel like I can light the world on fire when I sit down and plan yeah, there you go, our little fireside chat. Um, but I mean, I can get some work done.
Right, right. And
And
I was gonna say
what?
it's also leaning into the B minus work concept when you do the
Yeah.
Monday hour one.
Yes.
Getting things done at a B minus level, knowing you can come back and polish it off
Yeah.
at, another time, or it's as you can send it as is.
Yeah. Because it's done.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, there's so much growth that happens in that Monday Hour 1 if you will honor your commitment. It's like any other goal that you set. You have to set it with the intention of honoring it.
Mhm. You absolutely do.
Because I think there's a difference when we set goals and we're committed to them. we may have fear and doubt about achieving the end, but we don't have any issues with what's going to happen along the way. I'm very comfortable that I'm going to learn a lot along the way as I create this new course and market it. I'm
Mhm.
going to learn all kinds of things. There's no doubt about that.
Mhm.
Because I know I'm going to do it. And I know that in doing it, I will learn and I will get better at it. But when we set a goal and we just kind of throw it out there and hope it sticks to something, then what happens along the way?
Right, you get lost
Yeah.
somewhere in uh, it's the GPS. Having a goal in mind is the GPS to where you want to get to.
Yeah.
And so that's laying down the tracks to the marks to hit, the obstacles in the way. It's the self-confidence that no matter what, you're going to figure it out. You've got your own back
Yeah.
and you're not going to quit. That's
Yeah.
the big one. Not
Yeah.
quitting.
You're not going to quit. Yeah. All of those. I mean, think about if you were planning a trip, across the country and your goal was to end up in, I don't know, your goal is to end up in San Francisco.
Nice.
Yeah. And you're just like, okay, I'm driving to San Francisco, but you didn't put it in your GPS.
And you
You
didn't have
didn't
a
look
map,
at a map.
right?
It's just kind of, I hope I end up in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I have a good sense of direction,
Mm-hmm.
but hoping doesn't get us very far.
No, ma'am.
Hoping gets us to some interesting place.
Hope feels kind of good in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, occasionally,
Yeah.
but pretty soon that wears out. And
Yeah. I
the
was going to say,
chances
it's like willpower. It's just going to wear out.
exactly, exactly. Probably way before we figure out where San Francisco is or if we're going to
Mm,
just magically get there.
yeah, for sure.
So, when we're setting our goals, this is something that you're really good at talking about is our do goals.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how we plan our do goals to create this ultimate goal that we're reaching for.
Okay. So when we plan our do goals, like Brooke uses that example where she talks about for like if you interview 300 people for one job position, how you're going to, the chances of you finding the ideal employee are 1,000-fold, right? Okay, I don't know the math on that, but that with those odds, you're going to find what you're looking for.
Mhm.
So the purpose of setting the dual goal is again, the strategic byproduct becomes who you are along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, so she talks about the process is she always starts with a clean sheet of paper, and I love that because that's what
Okay.
I love to do too.
Well, I thought we were over here.
I'm sorry. She starts with a clean sheet of paper, which is what I love to do. I
Yeah.
have a notebook full that I keep our
Mhm.
podcast notes in. I keep, lots of ideas in, and I love to just turn the page to a clean sheet and start my Monday hour one, which is where my do goals start.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I'll empty everything out of my brain that I feel like I need to get done for the period. And I decide ahead of time, am I planning a month ahead? Am I planning a week ahead? Am I planning 2 weeks ahead? Am I planning 90 days ahead? It depends on the goal.
Mhm.
What how many days ahead. But let's say that I'm planning for 90 days
Mhm.
and I'll write down everything that needs to happen in that 90 days.
Mhm.
And that includes like the bigger things, writing down the details of how they get done. So if I'm writing down I need to create my course, then I write down maybe I need to learn a new software in order to do that, or maybe I need to spend time writing lessons and spend time videotaping lessons. I don't guess you videotape anymore.
Get your VCR out.
Yeah. How old are we? All right. Anyway, you have your whole list of things. And so you get all of that on your piece of paper. You completely empty out your brain. A lot of good things come up. Like all of those things, when I'm doing that, all of those things I've been thinking about that I need to do for months that haven't gotten done, they'll suddenly come out on my piece of paper. You know, I need to call and schedule that dentist appointment for my child or
Oh my
so
gosh.
just the exercise is very useful. But
Mhm.
once you have that huge list, set about 3 things that are your top priorities that you really want to get done. And it depends on, I mean, you know yourself better than anybody else. 2 or 3 things. One is going to be your main priority because, you know, the whole concept of multitasking is it's a lie,
It's
folks.
a I'm like, "Oh, they can't see my eyes rolling in the back of my head if they're
Yeah.
I'm like, no, multitasking does not work.
Yeah.
That
So
gives me a false pleasure."
exactly, exactly. I have some funny stories about multitasking, but I'm not going to tell them right now. Anyway,
Okay.
so you pick out about 3 of those, and then you start looking at what are the things that fit under each of them, you know, of the smaller pieces that you've written down that fit under each of those 3. And and then you start thinking about what's it going to take to make this happen. So what are all the pieces involved in getting this course written? And I get all of those listed and then I transfer them to my calendar. And those are my due goals.
Mhm.
So by this date, all I need to have lesson 1 written. This date, I need to have lesson 2 written. This date, lesson 3.
Need to get your videos uploaded.
I need to find some videotape because where in the world are we going to find that stuff?
Can't help it. I
That's awesome.
but, I think, did we say in here that the goal needs to be measurable? I know that you were
Mm,
when you went through this process, you
that's
did
right.
like what to put on the calendar. So the goal needs to be specific and measurable. On
Yes.
this date, I will have the complete course written, and it will include this, 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 and
Yeah.
I will know I'm done because this.
Yeah. I'm ready to put it out there. I'm ready
Mhm.
to set it up and offer it to my clients.
Mhm.
Um, but people get really it's funny to watch people when you start explaining this process, I think, because they're like, "Oh, I just like to I'm spontaneous." That's the best one. I'm a more spontaneous person than that.
Sorry.
Folks, tell them what spontaneity gets them, Judith.
Spontaneity gets, I immediately think of, food in your mouth and it gets you nothing, right? It just gets, can we call that an indulgent thought feeling?
I would say that's definitely indulgent, yeah.
It just, and it's not true.
Yeah, spontaneity is why only 6% of folks,
Hello.
whatever that percentage is,
Right.
that's
Well,
why.
you know what this makes me think of? Okay. Oh, I'm getting ready to go. So somewhere I remember, I think it was like on 2020. Let's go back to our VCR days, maybe 60 minutes, when I was
Yeah.
in college. I was telling a client the other day, um, she's like 32 and just absolutely just the cutest thing. Okay, y'all, I'm 53, but I was like, back when I went into college, I had to stand outside the building for 2 days to register for class,
Mhm.
because there was no registering online stuff. Like,
Right.
wanted to be first in line so you could get first choice because when classes filled up, it was done. I just lost my train of thought where I was. Okay, so where I um, watching on 2020, and I was a psychology student and learning about delayed gratification. Okay. And so when you said spontaneity, that triggered in me the thought about this program where they would have these kids. And I think we've even seen some TikTok videos where kids are left, right, with their moms will put little pieces of candy and they'll have the video.
The
And this
marshmallow.
is what they did back in on 2020. And there was like all this scientific evidence about it, or not evidence, it was just a study about the
Mhm.
kids who could, the emotional intelligence was a strong indicator of emotional intelligence was a child's ability to delay gratification.
Yes.
And so, whew, I got that out.
So what they did something like they left a marshmallow there with them, and they told them if they would wait till they came back in the room, they would get two marshmallows or something
Right,
like that.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 2020 when they used M&Ms,
Okay.
right? And so it was just an interesting connection. So when I heard you just now say that about spontaneity, it made me think about the lack of, or the inability to delay gratification, because that's what
Mhm.
this journey is going to be about, people. You're
Yeah.
going to be, you're going to not want to do it in the moment. You're going to be like, no, I can do this tomorrow. You may be writing your course and be like, I really want, it's such a pretty day. I want to go outside. I can write it
Yeah.
tomorrow. That's where you're going to be practicing delaying gratification, because the gratifying thing is going to be the end result that you produce.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're spontaneous, spontaneity is exactly like getting in your car and driving to San Francisco without a GPS.
Yes.
You and there's nothing to learn along the way. I mean, you probably learn a lot of lessons
Yeah.
along the way
How
if you
not to get your goal.
yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't get you there, and it doesn't get you all of that deep learning about yourself.
Yeah.
So, whatever your goal is, I hope I don't know if you are necessarily um a New Year's resolution person. I have never been a New Year's resolution person.
Hmm.
I that But that said, my future plans room is always full. It's always brimming. I
Mhm.
guess I've never thought about needing a new year to start that. It's just always kind of been something that I've done. I like to have goals. But if you have a goal worth attaining, surely it's worth planning for
Mhm.
and sitting down and learning um, to committing to honoring yourself.
Mhm. And this doesn't have to be, if you wanted to take the same concept and apply it to your day.
Hmm.
What's a 90-minute goal?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
done. You've got an hour and a half and you have all these things to do. Like, you can totally bust it out on a piece of paper, 3 priorities, get it on, time block it and go to town.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
measurable. What will I get done in the next 90 minutes?
Yeah.
And it's a really good practice step to setting the larger goal. This can be used anywhere, um, with anything.
Yeah. I think with planning, talking about weight loss, one of the big reasons both Corinne and Brooke advocate for planning ahead of time is it's practicing keeping your commitment.
Yeah.
Does it matter that you have um I don't know, a taco instead of a hamburger? No, that's not the real issue. The real issue is, can I make a plan and commit to it and honor that commitment
Hmm.
and build that um, integrity with myself?
Mm. Boy, that comes up a lot.
Mm,
Integrity.
yeah.
So
Where do you
true.
see it coming up?
Mostly, so I coached a private client yesterday, and it was interesting. She was doing, her profession required her, I don't know how to say this without, she was out of integrity with a policy, but because of COVID, the type of clients that she deals with, she made an exception that she would work with this client outside of a hospital setting.
Hmm.
And so that right off the bat, she was out of integrity with herself, because as a practice nurse, she knew that the hospital setting was ideal.
Hmm.
And so during this process with her client, the whole time, things were going not well. And as a result of this experience, she went straight into another model of eating out of integrity with herself. It was the same two
Yeah.
models for what she had done um, with it professionally and eating. Like she ignored the red flags. She knew she shouldn't be there, that she shouldn't do this, like all the things were happening. And when we're out of integrity with ourselves, the result is out of integrity,
Yeah.
you know? It's not a
Yeah.
good
All
feeling. We
around.
don't like it.
And we'll buffer. I mean,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
what she was
food.
doing.
Yeah,
We'll
she was
we'll
buffing.
find a way to buffer. Some
Mhm,
people will shop their way to it. Some people will drink their way to it. Some people will eat their way to it. But we will do something to feel better
mhm.
because we're not in integrity with ourselves. So I don't know that our fireside chat, it hasn't really been that light and fluffy, maybe, but I hope that it's been useful for you as you think about your goal setting, whether you're a New Year's resolution person or you're not a New Year's resolution person, that doesn't matter. You should have goals,
Absolutely.
and you should have goals not because you want to be happier.
But you want to have goals as a vision of expanding yourself and who you can become along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that evolution of self that we're all going for here. I mean, that's the big dream.
It's so much fun. Even as I
It
sit
is
here
fun.
thinking about the journey that I've been on, and I'm like, wow, I really haven't been giving myself a lot of credit. Sonia, just go, like it is so much fun who you become along the way.
Yeah.
All the discomfort, all the all the things, they're all worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the journey. I mean, that's some catchy little trendy little saying, but it really is. It's about what you learn along the way. You had a goal when we first met.
Mm,
The goal that you had that I remembered was, "I'm gonna work for Corinne." That
yeah,
was your goal.
yeah,
And I was like, "Wow, that's gutsy," because at the time, Corinne wasn't
right.
talking about hiring. She not on the group, she wasn't. I'm sure she was talking about it personally, but, you know, you made that happen.
I did, and I had obstacles,
You did. You had fear, you had doubt,
all of it. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
but
But here
now look, here you are.
I am. I did my first Facebook Live yesterday, talking by myself for an
And
hour.
killed it. Killed it. It was so good. Yeah. And, so if you hadn't set that goal, look at all of the things that you've learned along the way that you've worked hard at in reaching that goal, but they're byproducts of that.
Right, right.
So
Well,
that's the other thing where some of the things are going to end up on our calendar and some of the things are byproducts that we can't even imagine.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is. I
It's
agree.
usually any goal I set. That's my intention, to have
Yeah.
fun.
Yes, it is. I will say that is one of my favorite things about you, and there are many of my favorite things about
Oh,
you.
Sonia.
But but that's one of them is you're gonna have fun with it along the way. I'm serious. I'm always, ask my kids, they'll tell you I'm much too serious. I have fun, but I don't always look like I'm having fun. But your goal is always to have fun, and I love that because that's important. That's an important part of it. That's coming from abundance, right? That's not coming from scarcity.
Yes. And I don't, it just feels good because the worst thing that's going to happen is a feeling. May as well make it a good
That's
one.
right. That's right. All right. So, call to action. You want to tell them what they need to do?
the, the call to action is to take this concept, blank piece of paper, 10 minutes, TDL, right? Put the things down on the paper. Find your top 3 priorities, um, and set yourself a goal. Does it can be a goal for the day, it can be a goal for the week, it can be a goal till, well, this is dropping Did you say the 12th of December?
I
It can be a
think the
goal.
17th-ish,
Okay.
mid-December.
Okay. If anything, get your brain thinking and keep this paper available to you as you head into the new year. I think it doesn't matter when you start the goal. I would honestly encourage you to start your goal today. Why not today? Why not just keep leaning into it? Don't wait until January 1st because it's just another flip of the calendar. Nothing magical is going to happen. It's like all these people join think they're going to lose weight by joining the health club. That's probably not going to be on everyone's list this year. It might be buying Pelotons.
They're throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. They're starting out for
Yeah.
San Francisco without a map.
Right. Right. Have
I'm
a
just going to buy
plan.
a car. I'm going to buy a
Have a,
fancy car.
have a plan. And it starts with pen and paper, putting some things down and who you want to be and see yourself in 90 days, 90 minutes, a week, whatever it is, whatever you set this measurable goal at,
Mhm.
and borrow from the future and how she feels and how, or he, how they are, and the wisdom that they have to get there, and know that it's going to be who you become along the journey. It's going
Yeah,
to be amazing.
it is. All right, folks. We will see you next week. Thank you for joining us in our fireside chat about goal setting. I'm Sonya Green,
And I'm Judith Fender.
and we'll see you next week.
Bye.